been involved with the Mossy foot project since she was 1 year of age when her father and her family moved to Ethiopia. Upon retiring, she became involved more with the project. She currently is the president of the Mossy Foot Project. Sharon spends spends about 4 months of the year in Ethiopia and the rest of the year in the U.S. raising awareness and the funding for the work being done in Ethiopia. Please help me welcome the history of the beginnings of the Mossy Foot Project, Sharon Daly.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come. I get to speak. Thank you, Debbie. That was really inspiring. Helped me a lot. The foghorn sounded. Warning. As a Gripsholm ocean liner exited the New York harbor, bound for transatlantic voyage. Dr. Nathan and Doris Barlow and their 4 young children were on that ship. It was an epic voyage that would change the trajectory of our family's life. I was the baby then, going out with them. So my heart and the roots of my love for Ethiopia are from growing up out there. For the first 5 years that we were in Ethiopia, my father was the only doctor for over 1 million people.
Wow.
He was very busy because he was the only doctor. He trained many Ethiopians to be medical workers. They didn't have a high level of education. Some 5th grade, 6th grade, but they were intelligent, and my father was a gifted teacher. So they'd go out, they'd start out clinics. Meanwhile, my father had a full surgical load. He trained the medical trainees. He ran the clinic and the hospital. And every now and then, when there was an epidemic, my father and mother would travel 3 days by mule way out in the hinterlands to find out what the epidemic was and to treat it. One day, his medical trainees came to get him and said, Dr. Barlow, there's a little girl out there by the clinic, and we don't know what's wrong with her. We've never seen anything like this before. He came by and he saw this girl, and she had feet that were really swollen and bad and ugly. Bazite had come in, scooting in on her hands and knees to get to the clinic. My dad took a look at her. He hadn't seen this condition before. She was crying, please, doctor, can you help me? He said, I will try. I'll do my best to help you. He treated her, and she was able, after that, she grew up. She got married. She was able to have a normal life and a family. This was the beginning of his seeing Mossy Foot disease. Fast forward a number of years. It was 1977. The communist government had taken over Ethiopia. They seized the mission hospitals, offered my dad a job. But he didn't want to work for the communist government, so my parents left Ethiopia. They went to Central African Republic and Zaire for 20 years, where they worked in jungle hospitals. During this time, the government was overthrown. So my father came back 20 years later and started the Mossy Foot Project. At that time, he was young, only 85 years old. He really had a heart for these people. He saw how they were suffering. They were outcasts. Nobody would marry them. In fact, nobody would marry anybody in that family because they were afraid of them. If they were in school, they had to drop out of school. If they were working in the farm, they couldn't do it anymore because their feet would swell up and be bad. Well, probably some of you are wondering, what on earth is she talking about? How many of you have heard of Mossy Foot disease? A handful. Okay. So, let's look over here. Later on, if you want to come and look at this, you can. I have some bigger pictures also that I'll share with you. but there's a whole series of pictures here. The cause of mossy foot, how we treat it, how we rehabilitated people. The cause of mossy foot disease is volcanic soil. If I put one pin dot on my hand, 5,000 particles of volcanic glass could fit into that one little dot. Most of the people in the province where we work in southern Ethiopia are farmers. So they're out immersed in that soil. They're very poor. They can't afford shoes. It's like, do we buy shoes or do we buy food for our families? So most of them chose to buy food for their families. Now they're out there in that clay-like mud. They're monsoon rains in the rainy season in Ethiopia. If you walk over the land, you sink down into the mud. These men are out there farming with oxen, plowing the fields. When they come home, they don't have water, running water to wash their feet. They live in a little hut that would fit probably right in here, with a dirt floor. They have to walk 5 to 7 miles to get water from the river and carry it home. So water is very scarce and precious. As they're in that soil, immersed in the soil, those particles of volcanic glass penetrate through their skin and get into the lymphatic system. Everybody who's out there in that soil has it in their lymphatic system. But about 1 in 13 develop an intolerance to it, like maybe you're intolerant to peanuts or to gluten or different things. Some of them have an intolerance to that volcanic glass that is in their system. So gelatinous substance builds up around those particles of glass, and pretty soon their feet starts to swell up. They really, really look grotesque. They get larger, they get all these growths on them, and they start to have ulcers, and they start to have oozing liquid that comes out. This is Zalalam. He's a young man that landed up on our doorstep a few years ago. His brother brought him from another province, a whole day's trip away on the bus. He was begging, please, give me surgery. Well, this is hard. This is all hard. The big part of the bottom is the feet. And we said, Zalalam, that won't help you. If you have surgery and you go back into the soil again, you will get terrible ulcers that we cannot cure. I put the largest size garden boots on him that are meant to go over shoes. They barely fit on his swollen feet. I watched Zalalam as he went back to the bus with his brother. His head was down, he was shuffling along, he looked very disconsolate. I felt badly for him. While Zalalam came back regularly, got treatment supplies, took good care of his feet. We taught him how to care for his feet. 16 months later, this is Zalalam without surgery. He is not unique. We get this result over and over and over again. Also, little children get the disease. There's a little boy whose legs are already swelling. He has bumps over his toes. We want to prevent this. This is a disease that is preventable with footwear. So we started giving out shoes to the children in the Mossy foot families. The treatment is very simple. We wash the feet real well with soap and water, sawing in between the toes, lifting up all the little growths, washing and washing until the feet are thoroughly cleaned. Then we have them soak their feet in a diluted bleach solution. Give them whip-filled antifungal ointment and teach them how to do self-massage, lymphatic massage. If they have swelling in the legs and feet, we give them bandages, bind up their legs, show them how to do that. At night they take the bandages off and elevate their feet to help the lymphatic flow. Now, it's not enough just to clean their feet. treat the feet. But they have to have protection for their feet. So we have trained shoemakers to make oversized shoes for the patients. It doesn't do much good to clean the feet and not protect them. This is Verhanu, that means light. He is the one that uses the sewing machine. All of our shoemakers were Mossy foot patients, and now they are making shoes for the other patients. This is a disease of poverty. So if we do not address the underlying cause, then they're going to be dependent on us forever. So we do have vocational training for them. Radio repair, hairdressing. This is our training, and this is at one of the shops somebody set up. Bike repair, carpentry work, making the shoes. Those are all things that we do. We went to visit this young man here, Alamayu. Alamayu came in for vocational training. The people that are at our clinics will select young people that they think would be really good for vocational training. They have to be, it's kind of a merit-based thing, so that if they come regularly and take good care of their feet, and if they volunteer at the clinics, they'll say, oh, this is somebody that would be good for training. Alamayu was selected to come in for training. When our director saw Alamayu, his feet didn't look that great. And he said, Alamayu, I'm sorry, but we won't be able to train you. You just won't be able to have a business. He got down on his knees and cried and said, please, please give me a chance. Please let me. So then Muscully relented. He said, okay, we'll try it, but if it isn't working out well, we're going to have to send you home. Alamayu not only did well, he's a stellar representative of what happens when somebody is trained and motivated. He has trained 7 other Mossy foot patients to be carpenters, and they've gone to different villages and started their own businesses. Our treatment is so simple. It's almost unbelievable. Here's our treatment kit. Soap, bleach, ointment, bandages, and shoes. I was out there for 2 months recently. We were doing okay. I'm sorry I'm jumping around on you tonight. There's so much I want to say. It's just kind of going. Okay, this is a shoe that we make for patients. You can see how big the sole is. We had to cut it out of a tire because we can't find a sole that is big enough. Also it's deep because the feet swell. It's wide. To make a pair of shoes costs $17. From going to the Capitol, buying all the materials, coming back, making them, and delivering them to the clinics and putting them on the people's feet. Now in Ethiopia, there are lots of cows. Cowhides is one of the big exports of the country. Those cows are really skinny, but they have good, tough hides, so we have everything we need in Ethiopia to make these shoes. And the shoes. Another person that I saw when I was there was Leah. Leah got this disease when she was a little girl. She was going to school. She was playing with her friends, but when her feet started to swell, the friends didn't want to play with her anymore. And after a while, they started teasing her. She wore long skirts so nobody would see her feet. And after a while, she just dropped out of school. It was just too torturous for her to go. And everything was good for a while. When she didn't go to school, she wasn't teased. She went down to the spring to get water. And while she was there, a lady looked at her and said, look at your feet. Why are you here? You want to make us sick? Said, you're ugly. Nobody's going to want to marry you. Leah went home and she cried and cried. She was devastated. She she just got into a blacker and blacker mood. And finally she said, you know, there's no way for me to live. I'm just going to end it all. This was a little girl. She got some poison and she tried to take poison. She hid it under her mattress. When her parents went out to the fields, she was going to take the poison, but she was scared. She started crying, and the neighbors heard her crying, and they came by and said, Leah, what's the matter? They found that she was going to take poison. They got it away from her. Well, that lasted for a little while, and then she decided again she was going to kill herself. She tried to hang herself in a tree. She got up in the tree and was putting a cloth around. Other neighbors found her and got her down. They said, would you like to go to church with us? And she did. And at the church, she heard the pastor talking about resurrection and that she'd have a new body. When she heard that, it was good news for her. And when she heard that, it changed her life. She went down to the market, and at the market, somebody saw her, somebody from Mossy, and said, we can help you. Come to our clinic. Leah went to the clinic, got treatment. Her feet improved. Now Leah is one of our workers. So out of our 59 workers in Ethiopia, 35 of them were Mossy patients. And now they're giving back to the community. They're helping other people. The people that have vocational training are coming in. They are helping out as volunteers at our clinic site. This is a disease that gives me hope because it can be cured. We know the cause, we know the prevention, we know the treatment, which is very simple. It can be cured. In the Woleta province where we're working, there are about 259,000 people that have this disease. We have treated 90,000 people so far. In all of Ethiopia, there's about 3 million people afflicted with this disease. We know the cause, we know the prevention, we know the treatment. It's something that can be eradicated. That is our goal, to eradicate this terrible disease that makes these people treated like lepers, outcast in society. But as they are treated, their lives are totally transformed. So if you would like to look at our website, I have some brochures here. It has a website on the back. You can look it up. You can find out more about Mossy.
Can you state the website?
I'm sorry?
State the website.
Yes. www.mossyfoot, M-O-S-S-Y, like moss under a tree.com. Mr. Toastmaster.